news now, and government has officially rolled out its responsible cooperative mining and skills development program with the issuance of mining permits to two communities in the Elembele district of the Western region. The initiative, which targets abandoned concessions, is aimed at curbing illegal mining while promoting environmentally responsible and community-based mining practices. Athalia Konsa has more from Amia and Telekubokazo in the Western region.
Government has taken another step in its fight against illegal mining with the granting of mining operating permits to the Niwa and Telekubokazo Responsible Cooperative Mining Society Limited. The permits were handed over by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, marking the official rollout of responsible cooperative mining and skills development program in the Elembele district. The two beneficiary communities, whose residents are largely engaged in farming and artisanal mining, became the first to benefit from the initiative.
The damage we have caused to our environment is so extensive. The destruction of our forest reserves and our water bodies was so extensive. We are even not paying attention that we are winning that fight. We have established a coordinated force called the National Anti-Illegal Mining Secretariat to coordinate our fight against illegal mining. Why was that important? Because the small-scale miners were telling us every day, everybody is coming, say we are fighting Galamsey. Different groups, sometimes you don't even know where they are coming from. So we made a decision to coordinate it better. And I know that today is a very important day. One of the critical parts, and let me make it clear, the NDC government is not against mining. President John Mahama is not against mining, but he's against irresponsible, destructive mining that destroy our water bodies and our environment and kill us.
The Chief Executive Officer of Roscodem, Engineer Frank Asare Pedro, urged members of the cooperative to strictly adhere to the rules governing responsible mining.
We stand here today to hand over the operating permit for the Iron Telekubokazo Responsible Cooperative Mining Society Limited. The cooperative mining scheme, as we have it now, is his brainchild. So he wants it to succeed. We will call on everyone who will be participating to be law-abiding. We are going to take you through training that will take you through responsible mining, environmental rehabilitation, health and safety, and above all, mercury-free processing technologies.
Government believes the program will not only protect the environment but also provide sustainable livelihood for mining communities across the country. Athalia Konsa, Joy News, Elembele.
Well, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, has renewed calls on government to increase benefits under the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP program. He says improving social protection for the aged is critical to ensuring dignity and security for the elderly citizens who have contributed to national development. Speaking from Elembele, the minister argues that a country that benefits from hard work of its citizens must also stand by them when their strength fades. Joy News has more from Elembele.
The call for stronger social protection for Ghana's aged has once again been placed before government as the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, renews advocacy for an increase in LEAP benefits. LEAP is a government social intervention designed to support vulnerable groups, particularly the elderly, through cash transfers and other incentives to improve livelihood. Speaking to Joy News during the annual dining festival organized for the aged in the Elembele district, Emmanuel Amakufibua said the current support under the program remains inadequate and insists that government must do more to improve the living condition of senior citizens.
I always try to advocate is that, last 2 years ago when we were celebrating the 8 years anniversary, I called for an increase in the LEAP. And I think that increase came a little bit. Obviously, it's still not enough. So we'll continue to call for government to increase the LEAP program for the old people and come out with some programs that really help them. You know, just making sure we have a country where you know that when you work hard, play by the rules, take care of people, be a good citizen, when you grow old, that your country will also be there for you. Your community will be there for you. Neighbors helping neighbors. This is what this is all about. And I'm happy that it has worked in Lembele district.
The event, according to him, aimed at restoring dignity, showing appreciation and improving the well-being of the aged in his constituency.
The elderly care has helped to transform the health, emotional, psychological needs of our old people and gave them a sense of belonging and a place they can go to. Some of them who have been stuck in homes and they have nowhere to go. Sometimes that's why I am. They are not witches. It's all loneliness. And this center really has proved that it's a program that must be replicated, where we bring old people together and show that we care. And because people who have experienced this program have really transformed, their health has improved.
Beneficiaries of the program shared personal stories of transformation, describing the initiative as a source of hope, joy, and reassurance.
Biscuit was as one and bibi kakra when we put them from coffee. A fibiala or shay, yapo, bibiala shayapo, or my young or my sharing your hand. A fisher or friend or boy, I'm one community center. Bibiala or boy, your man. Or shayapo, or your shay, yala, bibiala. In a chisel, so okay, and part to fight. Oh my sister, and then
For Joy News in Athalia, Kwanza, Western Region.
So other stories now, and the Vice Chancellor of the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, UBIT, in WA, Professor Emmanuel Kanchebe Deribile, has reiterated the university's commitment to enforcing strict adherence to approved specifications on all campus projects, warning contractors against shoddy work. He raised concerns about the quality of roofing during an inspection of the ongoing 600-bed girls' hostel project. Joy News' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
This giant structure is a 600-bed capacity girls' hostel for the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. It was started in 2010 by the Professor Evans Atamel's administration and expected to have been completed in 2015. The project, however, stalled owing to some constructional challenges. The project was first started by Chinese Engineering Limited and later ceded to a Trinidad and Tobago Ghanaian-based contractor, Ken Overseas, after which the current contractor, Tunsungan Limited, took over. At the time he took over the project, it was a sorrow sight, overtaken by weeds and served as pen for some ruminants. Tunsungan Limited, as the name suggests, which literally means do good work, upon taking over the project, brought some sense of life, agency, and seriousness into the execution of the project. They constructed it to the roof level before it was awarded to roofing company Altar of Gold for roofing of the southeastern ends of the building. The work of Altar of Gold, however, did not please Tunsungan Limited, as they raised red flag over the quality of the zinc used for the roofing. They accused Altar of Gold of using 0.2 mm roofing sheets instead of the agreed 0.4 mm, which they say has clearly violated the contractual agreement. Meabu Ibrahim Abudi is the manager at the site for Tunsungan Limited.
They brought the zinc and the roof. Later on, we realized that the wind is taking the zinc too much, so we use a machine, a caliper to test, and it is 0.2. And my boss told them that if it is that, he told you that at 1.4, not 0.2, then you have to come and remove and then fix my 0.4 for me. So they agree later on. They say that my boss will pay 50% to them, then they can come and change it. So they say, my boss say no.
It's been few years since the southeastern end was roofed by Out of Gold. Already, there are visible signs of the poor quality of the zinc. Some holes have been spotted by our camera and drone shots. Even though the project is yet to be completed, part of the roof has now begun to peel off. Vice Chancellor of the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Professor Emmanuel Kanchibe is not happy about the turn of events.
I want to commend Tunsung Ghana Limited for taking a stance that the roofing company should do the needful, do the right thing, and ensure that the roofing meets the prescribed standard that was agreed on in the contract. We are a young university, and if we don't ensure that the right thing is done, what it simply means is that we will soon have huge maintenance costs to undertake. So first of all, we are being shortchanged. Secondly, we are a young university and we need resources to grow and to sustain. And so we side with the contractor, Tunsung, and we would insist that all the key stakeholders should come on board and ensure that the roofing company does the right thing.
Will they accept the project if the roofing company failed to go by what is stated in the contractual agreement? This was the response of the UBIT's Vice Chancellor.
No, I don't think that we are going to accept the project. Definitely, there are key stakeholders involved. We are not the managers of this project. The RCC is the manager of this project, and the ANQS is the consultant. We will work with them. And then based on the advice that they offer, we come together as key stakeholders who want to set some minimum conditions for the development of this university. So we are not going to accept this.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of Out of Gold, Daniel Adai, speaking to me on phone, conceded to the anomaly and pledged to re-roof the structure with the required roofing seats stated in the contractual agreement before the end of the first quarter of next year. Contractors working on the 600-bed capacity girls hostel, Tunsung Ghana Limited, says they will never compromise on quality or allow anybody to so change the people, insisting that what is contained in the contractual agreement will be fully and strictly followed. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam.
busiest bus terminals is becoming harder to breathe. Thick exhaust fumes from idling vehicles, diesel engines, and waste burning hang in the air, choking commuters, drivers, and traders who spend long hours there every day. Researchers are now warning that the level of sulfur dioxide in these areas is far higher than what is considered safe. New findings from PSS Urbania, which is helping 13 local assemblies map air pollution, show that at least 10 of them recorded pollution levels about 3 times higher than the World Health Organization guidelines. Executive Director of PSS Urbania, Urbania, Dr. Joseph Ayutio, says the problem is most common around busy traffic points in some industrial areas. He spoke to my colleague, Michael Ashley.
Most of the other MMDAs recorded sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide around 220, 230 micrograms per cubic meter, significantly above the 150 micrograms per cubic meter requirement by EPA and then the World Health Organization. So these raised a lot of concerns, but also provided evidence, specific evidence to local authorities as to where and what activities produce what kinds of pollutant or sources of pollution. And then that informed the specific actions as to how to control and minimize these actions.
Back to the sulfur dioxide, do you know where exactly these specific ones were coming from, or what was contributing to the high numbers that we're seeing on your equipment?
Okay, so that originally, when we measured, we also had concerns about the high levels of sulfur dioxide because significantly we noticed that this was generally high across the sites that we measured. Then when we compared the sites where the sulfur dioxide was considered high, we then noticed that the kinds of activities being undertaken in those locations explained or partly provided explanations to the higher levels, including the fact that the locations like Adenta barrier, atomic overhead, circle area, the Kaneshi first light areas recorded significantly high levels of sulfur dioxide. And those are areas, and even Kaukudi Junction. Those are areas where you have a lot of trotro vehicles and other heavy-duty vehicles concentrating and idling.
Well, this story was a collaboration with New Narratives. Funding was provided by the Clean Air Fund, which had no say in the story's content. Away from that, amid growing security threat and religious instability across parts of West Africa, Minister in charge of the Emmanuel Methodist Society at Lashibi in the Tema West Circuit, Reverend Alfred Freku, has urged Ghanaians to jealously guard the peace the country enjoys. He says the Christmas season symbolizes peace and warned that national stability must never be taken for granted. Reverend Freku made the call at a 9 lessons and carols service held at Kedland International School in Tema. Here is more.
The 9 lessons and carol service at Kedland International School at Community 19 in Tema showcased the talent of pupils through dance and performed Christmas songs on the keyboard. Aside Bible reading, the 9 lessons, drawn from the Old and New Testament, traced God's promise of a Savior and its fulfillment in Bethlehem, with readings recalling the angel's message to Mary, the birth of Christ in a manger, and the announcement to the shepherds. Through scripture and song, the service reaffirmed the birth of Christ as the foundation of the Christmas message. Minister in charge of the Emmanuel Methodist Society at Lashibi in the Tema West Circuit, Reverend Alfred Freku, says the season should remind Ghanaians to jealously guard the peace the country enjoys amid rising religious intolerance, ethnic conflict, and terrorism across West Africa.
We find various religions in the country. Again, there's this tribal segmentation amongst us with different understanding and different cultural practices. It is wonderful for us to have lived all these years up to this point with the various religious inclinations and dispositions. It can only be good for us to be in one piece up until now. Also, we must necessarily keep this peace. Of course, this peace cannot just be a wishful thinking. We must necessarily continue to act on it and live it, and consider the fact that every single individual, whether you are in the same religion with him or you are in the same tribe with him or not, it's a creation from God, and so you must respect that person and live peaceably with that person.
Reverend Alfred Freku urged Christians to exhibit Christ-like character in their daily lives.
We are extension of the manifestation of Christ Jesus Christ in the life. So as Christians, as Ghanaians, if we believe in the story of Christmas, that God loved us so much that he gave us Christ, then this Christ who we are interpreting as being birthed in our heart, we must necessarily exhibit it. It must be evident in our lives. So Matthew chapter 5 verse 16 will tell us, let your light so shine that men may see your good works. So we must live peaceably with our neighbors.
Meanwhile, administrator of Kedland International School, Esther Ashon Katai, expressed gratitude to God for an accident-free year caring for the pupils.
The year has been good. God has been faithful. I mean, we started the year with maybe not less than 30, but as we are coming to the end of the year, we are close to 50. And that is something to be happy about. And we are truly grateful to God. And throughout the term too, it has been smooth. We haven't had any casualties, and our children are doing well. And you could see from the performances today, they are confident and they are ready to do anything, which is good for us. So yes, we came here today to just thank God, truly, for the year, for all that he has done for us, yes. More blessings, more learners, more money, more everything from God. more good things for us, Kedland. Yes, that's what we're expecting in the coming year.
Parents and other participants expressed delight at the children's performances as they ushered in the festive season with a hope for a better year in 2026.
Well, giving hope is the simplest gift, and this Christmas, the Hands of Hope Foundation turned that message into action, reaching out to over 1,000 widowers, and elderly persons in Elmina and nearby communities. The foundation donated essential items, including food, and offered free health screenings, with Secretary Queen Adair stressing that the initiative was a gesture of compassion and a reminder to the vulnerable that they are not forgotten during the festive season.
Hands of Hope Foundation, a foundation rooted in Maryland, USA, offered hope to the aged, needy, widows and widowers in Elmina this festive season by donating essential items aimed at easing burdens during the Christmas festivities. The donation formed part of activities marking the 5th anniversary of the foundation. Queen Adair is the Secretary of Hands of Hope, Inc., in the USA.
Obatampa Dr. Nana Esiejiriba, who is the CEO of Hands of Hope Foundation, coupled with Starline Promotion, which is headed by Governor Kojobru. So this family came together to set up this foundation, given the fact that they are not here at home substantively. Therefore, whatever hard work they are putting in diaspora, they want to give back to the society in the form of giving back to the needy, the aged, the widow, etc. So this is just a stretch of hand to people who are in need, people who think they don't have hope. As of now, we have a lot of people that we are serving here. We've done a door-to-door wonder. We've gone to the various homes of people who are not able to walk. Wheelchairs have been given. So it's a combination of what we were born into, the heart that we have, and also the hard work that we've put in someone's land, trying to give back to the society. In the next 10 years, let me shoot that first, we are hopeful that we are going to the various neighboring cities. We don't want Obatampa's work to just end in this very jurisdiction. We hope that we'll extend it. We started from 150, 200, 500. Today we are serving over 1,000 people. So we are hopeful that in the next 10 years, we are going into the various 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. We want to reach out. That is what God has laid on her heart, so we will do it accordingly.
Acknowledging the growing number of beneficiaries, the unofficial governor of Connecticut, Enoch Kojobru, appealed for more support.
We want more companies to help us out, to be able to reach, because now the numbers are growing. We started with over 150 people. Now it's about 1,000 within 5 years. So you can imagine, the number keeps growing. We're getting older, the elderly, the handicapped, the widows, the widowers. Name them.
Some beneficiaries share their gratitude for the donation, calling for increased blessings for the foundation and its patron, Obatampa Dr. Nana Esiejiriba I.
Yeah, mami awa mando. Yeah, danasi. They send me. Where they not share pa. Yeah, you know yentas. Never wajabe your boy hen. Yeah, my frama. Na yeah nananum. Na ya jempa bote next. I go be no be alone ye. For they be day in the yenya mas na dam.
From Elmina, Abigail Lissol and Chroma reports for Joy News.
Let's do business update now. And economist Professor Patrick Esuming is urging government to heed warnings from the International Monetary Fund about the country's economy, citing that the economic fundamentals are facing significant challenges. His comment follows concerns raised by the IMF that Ghana's economic recovery remains fragile, with risks including commodity price shocks, delayed debt restructuring, and policy reversals. Speaking to Joy Business on the development, Professor Esuming called for a comprehensive plan to transform the economy, focusing on diversifying exports, strengthening domestic manufacturing, and reducing the dependence on imports.
Look, I think that the fund has to do its job accurately. Yes, look, we all of us shouldn't get caught up in the euphoria of the fact that there's been a change and indicators have improved. What has brought the improvements are the low-hanging fruits. But the harder work that will ensure that these gains are sustained, I think that's what the fund is flagging, that it still remains to be done. if you look through the staff report, there are several instances where some of the structural measures have delayed. Some of them have been missed, some of them have been implemented with delay, and some of them, there's no clear guidelines on exactly what is going to happen. And I think the fund is absolutely sure that the gains that we've seen, they are not underplaying the gains that we've seen. They are just concerned that the gains should be sustained, and for that to be sustained, some more reforms are required. I think you should understand the position of the fund. If somebody keeps coming to you for support and they keep coming, then you should be concerned that maybe the medicine you are delivering is not working. So it seems that this time they want to make sure that the reforms are really deep-seated, and I think that's why they are raising this concern.
Well, from the banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Etuahina is calling for the strengthening of the amended Bank of Ghana bill passed by Parliament to enhance the operational independence of the Bank of Ghana. Although he welcomes the bill, he believes when effectively carried out, the central bank will have greater autonomy to effectively execute its monetary policy mandate and maintain financial stability. He spoke to Joy Business.
I mean, look at what the finance minister is saying, at least about the board governance. It is never done anywhere where politicians, parliamentarians sit on the central bank board. I just recently watched the Nigerians, recent as I think last week or last year. What they did is that the names of the board members will be submitted to the Senate, and the Senate would approve. Independent approval. But it's not where the politicians, the parliamentarians sitting on the board. I mean, already the job at the parliament is so huge, especially the oversight responsibility of the central bank. If you don't have people who really understand the nuances of central bank, it is very difficult to have an oversight. So to appoint some people to go and sit on the Bank of Ghana board and at the same time be a referee and a player, it was not good. And I believe the minister is doing the right thing, and we should all support him. And he should even go further. If you look at the term, now it's not 4 years, because all over the world it's currently 5 years, so that the people can work independently. But what I would urge him is that even appointing the board members of central bank, it should not be the prerogative alone of the government. Because if you go to other jurisdictions where their central banks are functioning, they bring independent thinking minds. Independent, when I say independent, people who have nothing to do with the politics or the business. Go to Nigeria. Recently, they appointed one of the central bank directors. He wrote to them that because of the conflict of interest, he doesn't want to do it. And you can't have it in Ghana.
That's all in business, and that's how we wrap up the AM News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more to stay.